Good morning and welcome to the 2024 European Junior Powerlifting Championships here in Pilsen, Czechia. I'm Amelia Potter, joined by Alex Nordin. We have a French coach with us in the commentary booth this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Amelia. How are you?
I'm feeling a lot better, thank you. I had a lot of help here in the commentary section, picking up some of the slack while I wasn't feeling well. So thank you very much for joining me and helping me there.
Very glad to have you back.
Thank you. It's good to be back. And what a session it is to be back for. We have the 57 kilo junior women this morning. It's a full flight of 14, and it is so close there at the top. We can see on nominated prognosis, we have neck and neck Caitlin Baxter from Great Britain and Helena Mariella Decker from Germany. On total, both 422.5, separated only by body weight. Olin from Sweden just behind them. It's going to be a huge battle for gold, silver and bronze, and I am so excited to see how that plays out. Some huge numbers on the board, and both Caitlin and Helena both aging out this year, so their final ever competition as a junior, so I'm sure they're putting their all into it.
Absolutely. We have a wide range of openers from 95 to 160. These 57 are going to serve a nice squat battle, that is for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are kicking off the competition now with our first lifter of the morning, Van der Deme from Hungary, 95 kilos. Opening 5 kilos below her personal best, straight from the sub-juniors, only 19 years old. So 5 kilos above her personal best. So opening at 95 kilos. That's a good lift, 3 white lights, nice steady looking opener.
Yeah, nice and smooth, nothing to worry about here.
Little bit of work, but you know, shaking off those first squat nerves.
Yeah, I feel like the first squat is always the most nerve-wracking attempt of the competition.
Absolutely. Ania Antonivica from Latvia, 100 kilos. Seeing more Latvian athletes come through each competition, which is really great to see, more representation. That's a nice easy opener there, 3 white lights.
Very snappy, very explosive, nice way to build confidence.
Antonella Manet now from Croatia, 117.5 kilos for her opening squat. Three white lights, a good lift. Still looking very comfortable, some nice openers here. Leah Bontoil from Belgium, opening on 120 kilos, 5 kilos below her best squat. Has been competing less than a year, so a big feat to get here on the international platform already. was a lovely opener.
Yeah, no troubles there. She looked like an experienced lifter out there.
Yeah, I was going to say the exact same thing. I think she shows for a lifter that's so new, and this is probably one of her first maybe 3 or 4 competitions. She shows a way of lifting like she's been lifting for years. Nicole Spini from Italy, 127.5 kilos, has actually lowered her opener from 135, so perhaps opener's feeling a little, warm-up's feeling a little bit slower than she'd hoped. Let's see how 127.5 moves.
Oh, I'd say it moved well.
Yeah, it's a good lift. I think it definitely moved well, but considering she has to build into a second and third, probably the right decision, especially considering her personal best is 152.5. So just making sure she gets that squat on the board. How many times have we seen someone open too heavy and that be a mistake?
And it is heartbreaking, especially for juniors and sub-juniors.
It really is. A mistake they only make once. Liska Rokakova from Czechia on home soil here, opening on 130 kilos. It's her last year as a junior. Has been competing for 6 years already though. Nice and steady, a good lift.
I was wondering if she would be the most experienced lifter, but turns out she's not.
Yeah. I was only saying earlier, our next lifter up, Selma Ramberg-Storstad, I was saying I feel like she's been a junior forever. I feel like I've seen her on the international stage for such a long time, and she has got 7 years competitive experience, and I think most of those are international as well. So a lot of experience. It's her last year as a junior, and here she is opening with 132.5 kilos.
Very narrow stance squat. We've been seeing more and more of those in the recent years.
That's a good lift. Yeah, definitely been more popularized, and she makes it work really well. Really comfortable. Don't see any sort of breakdown for her there. Definitely won't want to squat any higher than that. I think she got it just perfect there. Laura Escosura Flores from Spain, opening on 137.5 kilos.
It's nice to see Team Spain stacking the front row, coming in with the energy in the morning session.
Absolutely, you certainly know where Team Spain are here. Lots of support. Very quick moving opener. Let's wait for the lights. Yeah, 2-1, a good lift. She does get a depth call from the right side referee. So Alex, let's look at that in the replay.
That looks right on the line to me. I'm not surprised because she has quite the low bar position for a person that squats in heels. So it's very specific, very optimized, but hard to judge.
Yeah, I'd agree. No higher than that, but I think she's comfortably in just there. Now her teammate Paula Alonso Vasquez from Spain, also opening on 137.5 kilos. I imagine they have fierce battles at nationals back home. That is a good lift. So when we're talking about depth, what we're looking for is for the hip crease to be below the top of the knee joint. So when we're referencing too high or borderline, it will be just on that line or above it. Amelia Fox from Great Britain, opening on 137.5 kilos, only 2.5 kilos below her personal best.
Definitely looks like an opener.
Yeah, it was super comfortable. And 2 to 1, a good lift. Again, just for the far side referee giving a depth call, so we'll have a look at that on the replay.
I'm surprised, but we can see the red light angle, so mind you, it is very much possible to have one hip higher than the other.
Yeah, absolutely is. Giulia Grecci from Italy, opening on 142.5 kilos. Little way off the podium overall, but not far enough that she can't fight for it, especially if one of the top three slip up whatsoever.
That's a bit of work there.
Yeah, it's a little bit tough for an opener. It's a good lift. From memory, she is very good at grinding through squats, but you still don't want to open in a place where you're already using that threshold up.
We've seen the Italians being pretty aggressive with attempt selection.
Yeah, and she actually upped her opener, so her teammate dropped it, and she upped hers a little bit as well. Perhaps trying to push that top three. And speaking of which, the first of the top three to come out for their squats, Emily Olin from Sweden, opening 3 kilos below her personal best at 150, which I imagine to be a Swedish junior record. She's the only one of the top three as well who does not age out this year, so very bright future ahead of her, I think.
Very convincing.
Yeah, it's a good lift, 3 white lights. Have a look at that again on the replay. She's quite quick into the hole and a lot of power out of it. Our penultimate opener now, Helena Mariella Decker, reigning world champion, 155 kilos on the bar, 10 kilos below her personal best. Had a phenomenal performance in Malta just a few weeks ago. Let's see what she can do just a few weeks later.
Yeah, back-to-back peakings takes a toll on your body. Let's see how she handled this.
I believe she also competed at Open Worlds in June, so she
Oh,
competed
wow.
a lot this year. That's a little tough, Alex.
She seems disappointed. You can see the look on her face. Disappointed on how that moved.
Yeah, and I'm sure if anybody can, she can bring it back, but when it's too heavy, it's too heavy. So I'm hoping that's not the issue, but it was a hard opener for sure.
I would agree.
Our heaviest opener of the flight and the lifter to contest Decker today, Caitlin Baxter from Great Britain, 160 kilos, opening 5 kilos below her personal best. Also managed to podium at Worlds just a few weeks ago. So the exact same turnaround time. Let's see how Baxter handles it.
That walkout looks comfortable. Oh, more work than expected, probably.
And it's a good lift. Yeah, a little bit slower than expected, but still slightly easier than Decker's. So I think if they continue to match each other, they still are in a good position. Important not to leave out Olin. She's only slightly behind and will be pushing them. So it'll be interesting to see.
Absolutely, but only green on the scoreboard. Every lifter has scored the opener. Always nice to see.
Yeah, and they can now build into their second and third with no stress about getting that total. We move through to the second round now. Kicking us off, we have Vanda Deme from Hungary, 102.5 kilos. 7.5 kilo jump from her opener. And that's a good lift, 3 white lights.
I feel like that's a nice second to set you up for a third, to gauge what you have left.
Yeah, I would imagine to see a smaller jump to the third. Seems like she's coming towards the end of her tank, but still
Absolutely, yeah.
couple kilos there. Ania Antonovica from Latvia, 107.5 kilos, a 7.5 kilo jump.
Seems to be a very popular jump when you look at the scoreboard.
Yeah, I think this is a very common jump in this weight category, especially for the juniors. 7.5 feels like a good amount for a 57 kilo lifter. Ooh.
Yeah, I think she was a bit too fast on the descent, couldn't control at the hole.
Yeah, we'll have a see at that again in the replay. Seems like her hips might have shot back a little bit as well and made her lean forwards more than she would have wanted.
And I think she got depth a bit.
But perhaps if she's a little bit more controlled in her third, she can come back and get it.
Yeah, I feel like it's a technical issue, not strength. We'll see.
125 kilos for Antonella Marnet from Croatia now. Again, a 7.5 kilo jump, which I'm sure I'll be saying a lot in the next few minutes.
And if that's how personal best moves, she's spacing very well for a nice third.
Yeah, she is. That was a lovely squat. Kept position really, really nicely as well. Really upright squat, actually. Clea Bentuel from Belgium, 127.5 kilos. And you guessed it, a 7.5 kilo jump. And it's interesting to see how that 7.5 kilos affects the lifters differently as well.
It makes a world of a difference, 7.5 kilos. Great use of the knee cave on the way up.
And it is a good lift. Yeah, that can certainly hinder or help some lifters depending on how they use it, and it seemed to aid her there, although I have a feeling as it gets slightly heavier, it's going to be harder to control. Liska Rokakova from Czechia, 135 kilos, a 5 kilo jump from her opener. You can see she has the arms of the squat rack in here. A lifter can opt for that. Usually at this weight class it's to avoid clipping the rack.
Very controlled on the way down.
Yeah, a good lift, very controlled, very steady squat I would say, all the way through.
She keeps her position all throughout the lift, and she's able to express her power.
Nicole Spini from Italy, 135 kilos for her second attempt. So this was meant to be her opening weight originally before she dropped it. So it'll be interesting to see how this moves today on the day.
The Italian women's team has been on the rise these last few years.
Absolutely.
It's very impressive to see what they can do. Thinking about Sara Naldi, Carola Gara, great division of women over there.
That's a nice looking second, I think.
Absolutely, yeah. Surely not an opener, but not a third at all.
Yeah, I think moving down was definitely the right idea, and it's about building confidence as well. If she opened on that and it felt hard, you know, where would her head go to say, how many do I have more for two? But now she set herself up nicely for that third.
Yeah, building momentum is so important.
Lara Escosura Flores, Spain, 142.5 kilos, 5 kilo jump from her opener, and just 5 below her personal best.
Yeah, looks like she's pacing for it. It looked deeper than the first. I would be surprised to see a red light.
And there aren't any. 3 white lights, a good lift. Yeah, it's a nice looking second. Have a look at that again on the replay. You can see depth slightly better from this angle.
That
Again,
looked good to me. Nice way to convince all of the 3 referees.
yeah, I think just dipped in there.
You don't get extra points for going deeper, so
No,
you might as well control.
you're absolutely right. You just want to get it deep enough. And sometimes if a lifter oversinks it, they can lose out on some of that extra strength.
For sure.
Selma Ramberg Storstad from Norway, 142.5 kilos. Our biggest jump of the flight at 10 kilos. She makes it work.
Yeah, I was worried.
But unfortunately just too high. Let's have a look at that again in the replay. And I thought this in her opener, the way that her stance is as well, is really hard to reach that depth as the weight gets heavier. And you can see she just cut step there.
And usually these narrow stand squat are difficult to judge from the front. They get red lights from the front, but this time it's 2 reds from the sides.
Paula Alonso Vasquez from Spain, 145 kilos. 7.5 kilo jump, just 2.5 below her personal best. That's a lovely looking second from Paula there and a good lift. Nothing too much to say there, it was a lovely second attempt.
Great use of the low bar, and she stands up well at lockout, no forward lean, convincing position, 3 white lights.
Absolutely. Just touching on the depth issue we saw from Ramberg Storstad as well. The positive of that is the strength is clearly there, so if she can just sink it a bit more on her third, it's something that she can come back and get, opposed to a strength issue. Amelia Fox from Great Britain now, 145 kilos, a 7.5 kilo jump to surpass her current personal best of 140.
Great squat.
Yeah, it's a lovely second attempt. And 3 white lights. She got 2 to 1 on her opener, good lift, and now has convinced all 3. I think that's a perfect example of how a second should move.
Getting a nice PB on the second and also pacing well for a nice third. Nicely done by the British lifter.
Giulia Grecci from Italy, 150 kilos. After upping her opener to 142.5, has now jumped 7.5. Her opener looked slightly hard to me. So let's see what this extra 7.5 does. Yeah, unsuspected. I thought Giulia was good at grinding through squats, and she is. And if anything, it looked slightly better.
And the question is, where do you go from this?
I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see Italy put on another 5. It really depends. They know the lifter better than I do. But the safe shot is always 2.5 when it's hard.
Yeah, I would rather get 2.5 than lose 5.
I completely agree. Emily Olin from Sweden, 157.5 kilos. This takes her into squat silver for the time being, with Decker and Baxter to follow. If she gets this, she secures at the very least squat bronze with her second attempt. That's looking good still.
And that is probably a new Swedish record.
Yeah, something definitely to take home with her. On top of, I'm sure, other medals that she'll pick up today. Now to move from squat bronze into silver, back ahead of Olin, Helena Mariella Decker from Germany, 160 kilos. Now her opener was a little harder than we would have expected. They've jumped 5 kilos, so let's see how this moves. I imagine a slightly smaller jump than they were planning.
Yeah, to recreate momentum. And then we might see a bigger jump from the second to the third, depending on how this one moves for sure. She knows she's in contention for the title. No kilos to lose in this tight division of the 57s.
Yeah, and it really is a close race. So, like you said, she doesn't want to drop any kilos if possible.
Big brace.
And that is much better, and it doesn't surprise me. She is a veteran of the sport and a world champion. 3 white lights.
For sure. Nice way to bounce back and recreate momentum. She looks happy with that one.
That face told me, oh, I don't know what happened, but we're back, I guess.
Yeah, sorry for the first one, guys. Now I'm on it.
She's just trying to keep it interesting for us. Now, Caitlin Baxter from Great Britain, also taking a 5 kilo jump, so matching Decca's jumps here. 165 for her second attempt, matching her personal best. Again, her opener looked a little bit hard, but again, easier than Decca's, and Decca made the 5 kilo jump look pretty decent, so I'm sure Baxter can as well.
That's still very good for almost a 3-time body weight squat.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. It's a good lift, 3 white lights. And again, I think it moved the same, if not a bit easier than her opener. And I imagine they'll try and match Team Germany's jump again.
Great squat action. Obviously, no one's pacing for a world record because the world record being held by Jade Jacob, the Open World Champion, so not surprised there.
Yeah, Jade being a French junior, she holds the European Junior and Open as well as the World Open and Junior records.
Very
But
difficult to reach.
yeah, it is indeed. But people are getting closer and closer.
Of course.
Van der Demme for her third attempt now, 105 kilos, a 2.5 kilo jump from her second.
Oh, unfortunately, this time it won't go through. Great catch by the spotters.
Yeah, and she got everything she could have out of that squat. Only jumping the minimum amount of 2.5 kilos means that 102.5 is all she had today. Nia Antonovica from Latvia retaking 107.5 for her third and final attempt.
Now it's a matter of controlling the hips at the bottom for Anya. Maintaining position, hitting depth.
And it is a lot better. Let's wait for the lights there. There we go, 3 white lights, a good lift.
Great to see.
Yeah, and we both suspected it wasn't necessarily a strength issue.
Yeah, that looked way better. She grinded it out for sure, but she got her kilos. She's on the board, 2 for 3 in the squat event.
Yeah, and we're not looking for an easy third attempt. That's not what you win PBs with.
Yeah, just the sweet spot, not to empty the tank too much, but you want some kilos for sure to build a total.
Antonella Manette from Croatia, 130 kilos for a new personal best. Her squats have been really tidy so far. Haven't seen any sort of breakdown, so let's see what another 5 kilos will do. Not much, it seems. Phenomenal third attempt.
Very steady squat. That's 9 white lights for her.
Yeah, starting the day off really very strong for Antonella. Lea Bantuel from Belgium, jumping 2.5 kilos to 130 for her third and final attempt. Perhaps feeling like she's at the end of her strength levels here. huge effort from the 12. And a good lift, 3 white lights.
Great attempt selection from the Belgian team. The sticking point was quite hard to beat this time, but she did.
Yeah, and you couldn't have added another kilo to that bar. That was the perfect number.
Erzim told me a saying. He said, if a fly landed on that bar, it wouldn't have went up. This might have been the case here.
Yeah, absolutely. Eliska Rokakova from Czechia, 140 kilos to match her personal best on her 3rd attempt. Really tried to push past that sticking point, but just isn't there today, unfortunately.
We mentioned the knee cave earlier, but this time it was only the left knee that caved, so losing a line of production force.
Yeah, I see that there. Just not there today, but still walks away with that 135. Nicole Spini from Italy, 140 kilos, 5 kilo jump. This is a number that she's done before many times. Her personal best is 152.5. So let's see if she can do it today at her last junior competition.
You adapt on what you have on the day.
Absolutely.
Next experience right there.
And there it
great
is.
call.
It's a good lift. 3 white lights. Yeah, I completely agree. You have to take what you have on the day, not what the plan was. We see so many lifters trip at that hurdle where they try to stick to the plan when it just isn't there on the day.
Maybe the recomp was a bit harder than expected. You adapt to the standards and to what you feel during the warm-up.
Selma Ramberg Storstad from Norway, retaking 142.5 kilos. Wasn't a strength issue, just squat a bit too high on her second. Needs to sink it. She found the depth okay on her opener. But obviously by jumping 10 kilos, they're risking losing a lot here. Well, that looked a lot better in every regard. And there we go, 3 white lights.
Very nice way of bouncing back.
Yeah, I mean, it was deeper, it looked stronger, she looked more comfortable. Just a really different squat from her second.
She maintained the right torso angle.
Lara Escosura Flores from Spain, 147.5 kilos for a matched personal best.
She went from a 2-1 on the opener to a 3 white lights during the second. Let's see if she can keep the trend going on the third. And as they say, vamos Lara.
Wow.
Okay.
And that's some speed for her third attempt. 2-1, a good lift. Still has some energy to jump into her coach's arms as well.
Yeah, she had room there for sure.
She does get a red light, so the jury will look at it, of course, but they seem to be happy with it.
Yeah, they don't seem too worried about it.
Paula Alonso Vasquez, her teammate now, attempting 150 kilos for a new personal best.
The medal position already decided, but every kilo matters in the race for the total position.
Oh, a phenomenal third attempt, a great grind, good effort, and a good lift.
Smiling during a grind is usually a great sign.
And, you know, past the medals, there's still an opportunity to collect team points as well. So
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm sure Team Spain looking for that, fighting Team Italy for that. 150 kilos on the bar for Amelia Fox from Great Britain. 5 kilo jump from her second. Another personal best, should she make this. Again, in reaching for team points here.
Wow.
Another lovely third attempt.
Great display of technique from Amelia.
And 3 white lights, a good lift.
And to be honest, I've been very impressed from the sub-juniors and now the juniors coming from GB. We've got a great pull of talent coming from there.
Certainly has been growing in recent years, and I think is the case with a lot of countries as well.
I don't know many countries that have sub-juniors lifting 400 in the deadlift.
Giulia Grecci from Italy, 155 kilos. Team Italy opting for that 5 kilo jump, as I thought they might. This is to match her personal best. Her opener looked hard, but then she kept working through her second, and I imagine she'll keep working through her third until she can't.
It looks to be in our ballpark, but we are expecting a battle for sure. Let's see it, Julia. Unfortunately, she leant too forward, unable to push through the bar road. And once that happens, it's very hard to recover.
Yeah, I think she just used up all that grind with her opener and her second. Now the big three coming out for their squats. We already have confirmed that those are the medal holders for squats, but in which order we don't know yet. Emily Olin, shooting for squat silver, has bronze at the very least secured, 162.5 kilos to pull ahead of Decker. Gold already secured by Caitlin Baxter on body weight.
That workout looked comfortable. I'm expecting this one to go.
Oh, and that is lovely. She looks so comfortable under that bar.
That looks just like the second.
It is a good lift. We're still 2 years left in the juniors as well. I'm excited to see the progress that she makes.
Yeah, sensational potential. Sensational.
Now Helena Mariella Decker from Germany to move back into squat silver ahead of Olin. 165 kilos. Opener was really tough. Her second looked a lot better. Let's see how her third moves.
Some lifters have the ability to kick in another gear, third attempts. Let's hope that's the case for Mariella. She looks determined, very focused.
As defending world champion, I think she has a lot to prove. She wants to collect that European title as well.
Big brace. Building tension.
Oh, there it is.
Right on the money.
And that is a good lift, 3 white lights. And looking at her opening attempt, you wouldn't have been confident that she would get all 3, but it kept getting better.
This is where experience came into play. You adapt on the second, correct on the third. 3 for 3 in the squat event.
Caitlin Baxter from Great Britain now, already walking away with squat gold, opting for a 2.5 kilo jump after her second to collect as many kilos as she can heading into bench press. Has that slight disadvantage behind Decker on deadlift, so building as big a subtotal as you can.
And being lighter, it makes all kind of sense to do that.
And that is a lovely third attempt from Baxter as well, and a good lift.
Great squat action from the 57s. Only 5 missed attempts on a 14 lifter flight.
Yeah, some big strong squatters and some great selection from the coaches as well. And that concludes the squat session. A summary here, as expected, the big three walking away with the squat medals. In bronze with 162.5 kilos, Emily Olin from Sweden. In silver with 165 kilos, from Germany, Helena Mariella Decker. And in squat gold with 167.5 kilos from Great Britain, Caitlin Baxter. Now, we're going to head into a 20-minute break before bench press. Don't go anywhere, and we will see you then. Hello and welcome back to the 2024 European Junior Powerlifting Championships here in Pilsen, Czechia. We have the 57 kilo junior women for you. We just finished the squats. A quick summary of that: we had Olin from Sweden walking away with squat bronze with 162.5 kilos. In squat silver, Helena Mariella Decker from Germany with 165 kilos. And in squat gold, Caitlin Baxter from Great Britain with 167.5 kilos. We head straight into the bench press now, where we see some huge numbers come up with two lifters already above 100 with their opening attempts. In for a bit of a treat, I think.
Absolutely, yeah. Openers ranging from 57.5 to 107.5.
Yeah, these are big numbers. Unfortunately, no one's going to get near the European record, as it is Donna Berglund's from 2019, and I think that will probably stand for a little while longer.
Yeah, coming from a family of huge bench presser.
Leah Bantwell from Belgium opening on 57.5 kilos. That's a good lift, 3 white lights.
It's pretty rare to see the thumb open up during the press, but seems to be working for her. You can see it on the left hand. The thumb opens up in the press.
She doesn't do it on the right hand, so maybe that's a callus or something, or maybe that's just how she likes to bench. 60 kilos for Van der Dame from Hungary, opening on her personal best. So bench, arguably the most technical of all 3 lifts. You know, the most to think about and the most that can go wrong. So should we see red lights, we'll try and talk you through what we're seeing. Can't imagine there'll be any there though, and it's a good lift.
Yeah, uneven press, but very easy, very comfortable. I would say it is the lift where setup is the most critical.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with that. It's the lift that, if something is slightly off, it can really make the biggest difference. Antonella Manet from Croatia, 67.5 kilos, opening above her personal best of 65. Had a phenomenal squat session with only white lights, and her third attempt looking really strong. Let's see how she fares on bench.
Chin down, chest up, nice setup, very comfortable first attempt.
3 white lights. Eliska Rokokova now from Czechia, with a personal best of 80 kilos, opening on 72.5. Three white lights, a good lift. And in an ideal world, you know, we wouldn't want to say too much about bench press openers. We want them to be nice and easy and comfortable.
Absolutely, yes. And in those lighter classes, it's not unusual to see lifters use heels to set up during the bench press. Way easier to set up the arch when you can reach the ground easier.
Anja Antonovica from Latvia, 72.5. Yeah, lifters do have the opportunity to ask for blocks, but I think heels are often a lot easier and more reliable. Very comfortable opener there for Anja.
Nice leg drive.
3 white lights. Yeah, often good bench presses don't just utilize the upper body, it is a full body experience, making sure you're using your legs as well as your upper body to press through. Amelia Fox from Great Britain, opening on 72.5 kilos.
She had a fantastic day during the squat event, going 3 for 3. Great technique display. And she goes on.
Yeah, very comfortable opener for Amelia and a good lift, 3 white lights. I think definitely has an opportunity to fight for a deadlift medal as well with one of the bigger deadlift openers of the flight. Lara Escasura Flores from Spain, opening 77.5 kilos, 10 kilos below her personal best. Very comfortable, easy opener there for Lara and a good lift, 3 white lights.
Yeah, she had a hard time setting up her feet. And now it seems like her back is cramping a lot. It's not unusual during the bench press.
No, it's not. We see a lot of lifters experiencing, especially in the slightly lighter weight classes, back cramps during bench or after bench press.
Rehydrate, a bit of mobility, and it goes away.
Giulia Grecci from Italy, 80 kilos for her opening bench, 2.5 kilos below her best.
Hoping for this one to be easier than the squat opener. Looks like it is.
That is a good lift, 3 white lights. Paula Alonso Vasquez from Spain opens on 85 kilos. You can see getting into a nice high arch position, nice high rib cage. Still manages to find elbow depth. And it is a good lift, 3 white lights.
That looked very easy.
Yeah, it was a lovely opener. So elbow depth is a relatively new rule to the sport. So what we're looking for is for the elbow to reach the midpoint of the shoulder. So you can see perfectly executed there by Paula.
And that's the rule that popularized the sink in the bench press for the women's in the lighter weight classes.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll see a few of those as this flight goes on.
It was underutilized a few years ago, but now it's very popular.
Yeah, extremely so. Selma Ramberg Storstad from Norway, 90 kilos.
Oh, and I'm a bit worried about elbow depth on this one.
Just have to wait for the lights. No, she's okay.
Okay.
3 white lights. Now, Selma is one of the athletes that was quite highly affected by it. Her and her sister actually had extremely high arches and small range of motion, so they had to really adapt to the
It
new
looks better
rule.
from this angle for sure.
Usually when the center referee gives a white light for elbow depth, you'll be okay.
It is very difficult to judge from the side. That's true.
It is, especially if somebody tucks more than they
Absolutely.
flare. Nicole Spini from Italy, 92.5 kilos for her opening attempt. 4 kilos below her personal best and what I imagine to be an Italian national record.
Very controlled on the way down.
Ooh, it's a little tough though, I have to say, Alex.
Yup. Very difficult off the chest.
But luckily it is a good lift, 3 white lights.
That's one of the main differences between soft touch and sink. Soft touch is very hard off the chest and it gets easier. Sinking is way different. It's easier off the chest because you use your legs a lot and it's hard to lock out.
Similar comparison that we see in conventional versus sumo.
Absolutely, yeah. Great analogy.
95 kilos now for Helena Mariella Decker from Germany, opening 7.5 kilos below her best. Had a slightly difficult opening squat and progressively got better throughout each attempt. Let's see how her bench opener moves.
Taking time to retract and depress our scapulas, very important to build that foundation in the bench press.
Now that is a lovely opener from Helena. 2-1. She does get a yellow from the side referee, so I'm wondering if we look from the side angle in that replay, we can see what that would have been for. Usually it indicates there's a lift of some sort. And although I see some shifting, I didn't see any lift.
Yeah, I think she maintained contact. We could see the light of day above the upper thigh, but it's okay. I feel she maintained contact.
Caitlin Baxter from Great Britain, opening on 102.5 kilos, our penultimate opening attempt. Caitlin, who walked away with squat gold, building herself a big subtotal here. Put herself in a good position to fight for that gold overall if she can.
Great bench press.
And it's a good lift, 3 white lights. Yeah, Caitlin really excels here in the bench press. Well, clearly in the squats as well.
Great use of what we call the jab grip.
Now our final opening attempt, Emily Olin from Sweden, 107.5 kilos on the bar, opening at her personal best.
That's interesting.
Based on how I see Sweden pick numbers in the past, I'd be surprised if this was a difficult opener.
Yeah, they have a great coaching staff.
But let's wait to see how it does indeed move for Emily. And there's that sinking technique that we were speaking about there for Emily.
And no wonder why they chose this as an opener.
And she does get a yellow from the side referee. It's 2-1 a good lift. So we'll have a look at that side angle. I imagine, again, this is for lifting. And it does seem she's a little floaty.
Oh, yeah, that looks like a yellow to me.
Yeah, and we'll have to wait to see what the juries say. They have to be unanimous, so every single one of the 3-man jury must agree. But for now, every lifter has a bench on the board, and we move through to the second round. Leah Bantuel from Belgium, 62.5 kilos. And it seems like Olin's bench will stand.
She gets a pass. We're fully trusting the referees and the jury to be right. Maybe they have another angle that we don't.
Yeah, she'll just want to be careful on that second attempt for sure. Ooh, a little bit tough. I think 5 kilos perhaps, a bit of an ambitious jump there.
And this time not only did your thumb open up, but the wrist rolled, and it's very difficult to push through.
Yeah, so it makes me believe perhaps more there's a hand issue going on rather than that being her technique. Like we said, bench is so technical, you can change 1 or 2 things and it can be a completely different lift. So we'll see for her third.
Yeah, joint stacking, timing, everything's important in the bench press.
Van der Deme from Hungary, 65 kilos, a 5 kilo jump from her opener. Powerlifting is not just a strength sport, it's a sport of technique as well. It's hard, but she manages to lock out her arms. However, she does get a depth call from that centre referee. That was the elbow depth we're speaking about, so we'll have a look at that on the replay.
Because it was very uneven at the bottom.
You can see she's set up quite uneven as well on that bench. It's hard, though, choosing between is the elbow high or are they just wonky, because it's not necessarily the same thing. They are analysing it in the jury, and we'll keep one eye there and one eye on Antonella Manet from Croatia, 72.5 kilos. 5 kilo jump from her opener.
And that's a PB right there.
Yeah, and still looking strong. It's a good lift. Again, it seems like Deme's lift is going to stand. Eliska Rakakova from Czechia, 75 kilos, a 2.5 kilo jump from her opener, opting for the smallest jump.
And don't get it twisted, 2.5 can make a lot of difference. I would rather think about it as percentage. It's like more than 2.5% more. So it's very difficult to gauge.
And that is a good lift, 3 white lights. Yeah, and it's important to acknowledge that this is one of the lighter weight classes, so taking a 2.5 kilo jump is not the same as perhaps a 120 lifter taking a 2.5 kilo jump, but you must utilize it if it's there.
Yeah, and 2.5 on 70 and 2.5 on 150 is not the same at all.
Exactly. Anja Antonovica from Latvia, taking a 5 kilo jump to 77.5 to match her personal best. Slow but steady. It's a good lift.
And I don't know about you, Emilia, but looking at how it's going, I could very much see some of these 57 climbing up the ladder of best lifters.
Absolutely. I mean, we've had just a couple of the weight classes in the women's so far, and they've already put a phenomenal showing on, but I think the way it's going, the top 3 here might take the top 3 spots after this session. Amelia Fox from Great Britain, 77.5 kilos, a 5 kilo jump from her opener, surpassing her personal best of 75 here in her second.
A bit more work, but as expected on the second.
Yeah, still looking comfortable. 3 white lights. Very nonchalant lifter.
Business only.
Yeah, absolutely. Fun later, business now. Lara Escosura Flores, 82.5 kilos, a 5 kilo jump from her opener.
Her back was cramping after the first. Let's see if there's any issue there.
Well, if there was, it wasn't showing in her bench.
She must have rehydrated, maybe foam rolled a bit. And she's in the game.
Yeah, it's a good lift, 3 white lights, and it moved really well. Finds near perfect elbow depth as well. Giulia Grecci from Italy, 85 kilos, a 5 kilo jump from her opener, and 2.5 kilos above her personal best.
The opener was very convincing, much more than a squat opener. It was very technically sound. Building tension during the setup.
Bar rolled a little bit in her hands, but she kept control of it really well. Good lift.
Controlling the wrist is such a key point of bench press.
Yeah, and a big reason a lot of lifters do opt to wear those wrist wraps. Paula Alonso Vasquez from Spain, 90 kilos, a 5 kilo jump from her opener.
Easy.
Yeah, still moving really well, just 2.5 kilos below her personal best. It's a good lift. Nicole Spini from Italy taking a 2.5 kilo jump from her opener to 95. Moves her into bench press bronze for the time being, with Ramberg, Storstad and Decker to follow.
She took time to re-explain how she wants the bar to be unracked. Very important, key point of the setup of the bench press. Strategic play here, for sure.
Wow, did incredibly well to fight through that. Looked like a uncomfortable position where she pressed from.
She fought for that one for sure.
It's a good lift though, 3 white lights. If we look at that replay, she looked really uncomfortable off the chest.
Looks like the left shoulder slipped out of the bench press at the bottom.
And should she fix that, I see no reason why she couldn't collect a couple more kilos.
Yeah, it looked very comfortable on the right side.
Yeah, just needs to even that out. Selma Ramberg Storstad from Norway, 97.5 kilos to move into bench press bronze for the time being, ahead of Spini, with Decker to follow.
She hit the rack on the way up.
I'm a bit more worried about that, but she's okay. Sometimes that can knock the lifter's bar down, and that will be blue for downwards movement, but she's all right, and it's 3 white lights. See, she's a bit wonky on the bench here, which is what I was concerned about. An obvious advantage for a handout as well, as the lifter can set up a bit further down the bench, which means they can avoid the rack a little bit more. Helena Mariella Decker jumping to 100 kilos on her second attempt to move her back into bench press bronze.
Finding the right compromise to set up on the bench press is so difficult. You've got to experience it all. And these are only junior lifters. Some of them have been competing for a long time, but not all of them.
Yeah, and you have to find what works for you.
Great bench press.
2 to 1, a good lift. Again, I think she got a yellow on her opener as well from that same side, so have a look at the replay. I think she does just have a slightly hovering look about it because she uses so much leg drive, but she maintains contact.
You can see the referee committing to that judgment.
Yeah, standing by it for sure. Caitlin Baxter from Great Britain, 107.5 kilos to move her into bench press gold ahead of Olin for the time being. Olin to follow, to match her personal best.
No troubles whatsoever.
3 white lights, a good lift.
She's really showing out today. Very technically sound, very efficient.
Yeah, that's a lovely second attempt, and has those extra couple kilos she can collect for that third. I imagine 2.5 feels sensible to make sure she doesn't lose out on any. Emily Olin from Sweden, 112.5 kilos to move back into bench press gold ahead of Baxter, heading into third attempts. 5 kilo jump from her opener, which was already a personal best.
Progress was made in the gym apparently. Let's see if she can convert. Wow, very snappy off the chest.
And it's a good lift, 3 white lights. Not unusual, I must say, to see good Swedish benches. As I said, the record held by
The Berglund family.
Yeah. Phenomenal job there from Olin, and that concludes our second round of bench press. As you can see, Olin leading 112.5 kilos. I think that will be pretty secured unless she misses her third. Baxter currently in bench press silver, and Decker in bronze. We move now to the third attempt. Leah Bantwell from Belgium, 62.5 kilos, retaking this after missing it on her second.
Nice way to recalibrate.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we're talking about. You just, like you said, recalibrate, change one thing, and it can really make the world of difference.
Way more control of the breath, and this time it goes through.
Van der Deme from Hungary, taking a 2.5 kilo jump to 67.5 for her third and final attempt, a new personal best. Should she make this? Perfect looking third attempt there for Vanda. 3 white lights.
Great attempt selection for sure from the Hungarian staff.
We now have Antonella Manet from Croatia, 77.5 kilos, a 5 kilo jump from her second.
Yeah, one of the only 3 lifters to opt for a 5 kilo jump rather than a 2.5 during this third round of bench press for the 57s.
Yeah, and I think perhaps not the right choice today.
Yeah, 5 kilo jump is big from a second to a third on a 72.5 kilo bench press.
And I think those first reds we've seen for Antonella all day. Aliska Rokakova from Czechia, 77.5 kilos, another lifter amongst the many, taking that 2.5 kilo jump to her third.
Playing on home field today. And you can see the roar of the crowd to urge Aliska.
It is a good lift, 3 white lights, and definitely the right choice there. Didn't overreach to match her personal best, took what was there on the day. Anja Antonovica from Latvia, 80 kilos for her third and final attempt. 2.5 kilo jump from her second for a new personal best.
Oh! We can see that she lost tension at the bottom. She expanded the rib cage a lot, big brace, but once the bar touched the rib cage, it went down a bit, collapsed.
Yeah, at first I thought she was perhaps trying to sink it a little bit and use that momentum, but I'm not too sure what happened there. 80 kilos now for Amelia Fox from Great Britain, a 2.5 kilo jump. She's been lifting really well so far today for a new personal best.
She's been on point technically, that's for sure. Let's go, Amelia.
That's a perfect third attempt from Amelia there. 3 white lights, a good lift. Felt like you were cheering me on then. It was very nice.
Let's go talk, Amelia.
I feel ready to do so now. Lara Escasura Flores from Spain, 85 kilos, a 2.5 kilo jump from her second, leaving her 2.5 kilos below her personal best. But like we said, take what you have on the day, collect the kilos, and don't shoot for more than that.
Oh wow, she lost some critical kilos to enter the top 8. She's forecasting 9th at the moment.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, currently, should all of the top 3 get their final bench press in, they all head into deadlifts with a 440 total. So it really getting closer and closer there.
It's gonna be very interesting. Very entertaining battle between these ladies.
Giulia Gucci from Italy, 87.5 kilos, a 2.5 kilo jump from her second.
Wow!
That is such a shame. The left arm just would not lock out.
I thought it was gonna go through, but that left elbow wouldn't open.
Absolutely phenomenal effort to keep pushing through that though. And she walked off with a smile. I think she knew what a feat that was.
You can see the right elbow right under the bar being able to push, but the left elbow was in front of the bar, unable to express power. That's unfortunate.
Paula Alonso Vasquez from Spain, 92.5 kilos, a 2.5 kilo jump from her second to match her personal best.
Easy on rack.
And a relatively easy third attempt as well.
She looks surprised.
And 3 white lights, a good lift.
She had 2.5 more for sure.
The difference is, and it sounds obvious, the difference between 2.5 and 5 is quite literally double. So it can make a huge difference. Nicole Spini from Italy, 97.5 kilos, a 2.5 kilo jump to take home a new Italian record, it seems. Of course, at internationals, you cannot chip a national record, only international records that are relevant to the competition. So this will improve that by 1 kilo for a new personal best and national record.
Wow!
What an incredible grind for Nicole. 3 white lights.
There you have it. New Italian record.
And you don't often see a grind like that on bench, at least successfully. Now, Helena Mariela Decker from Germany, currently in bench press bronze. That won't change anything. That can only be threatened by Ramberg Storstad afterwards, but to match her personal best, to gain another 2.5 kilos to stay matched against her competitors heading into deadlifts. Every kilo counts. It is a tight race. She has got the biggest deadlift of the 3, but the extra couple kilos here certainly wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, they would come in handy for sure.
Wow, another phenomenal grind on bench.
Yeah, another grinder.
And 2-1, a good lift. That side referee still sticking to his guns there. Let's have a look.
Those kilos are going to come in handy because she's not the lightest of the big 3 today. Very important attempt.
Yeah, and I think where that yellow would have come from would have been when she pulled tension from her body before she started pressing. Now, Selma Ramberg Storstad from Norway, 102.5 kilos, to move into bench press bronze, a 5 kilo jump from her second.
And she's weighted in very light today. 55.13. She clipped the rack again.
Still managed to push through it, but I think her glutes came off of the bench. Have a look at that from the side angle.
That's dedication right there from the referee, and he's 100% right.
Yeah, I think when she clipped the rack especially, she used that extra bit of leg drive to get it up, and just glutes came off the bench.
So no medals, unfortunately.
Yeah, so Decker will stay in bench press bronze, and now looking to move into bench press gold for the time being, with Olin to follow. Caitlin Baxter, Great Britain, opting for a 5 kilo jump. Big risk, big reward. 112.5, a new personal best.
A very strong outing so far.
Oh, another phenomenal bench attempt. Wow, these girls are giving us a masterclass. 3 white lights.
What is this bench press session?
I've never seen so many successful, difficult bench grinds in one session before.
We have one more attempt to go.
And that belongs to Emily Olin from Sweden. This will move her back into bench press gold ahead of Baxter. And it is a 5 kilo jump from her second. It will also match them all heading into deadlifts. The total and prognosis of 440 with their deadlift openers.
For us, that would be the dream scenario. Even playing field at the beginning of deadlift. Even though the openers may change. Now it's on to Emily. What is that from the Swedish athlete?
Just as easy as her second, 2 to 1. A good lift. Does get that yellow from the side referee, so we'll have a quick look at that in the replay.
The jury's looking at it for sure.
Yeah, and I'll have to keep my eye on the jury. Like I said, there are 3 jurors and they have to be in complete agreement. I think I saw a slight lift, but it's up to the discretion of the jury.
It looks like her opener and it passed, so we'll see. We don't have the perfect angle, but they're still discussing it.
And it looks like it will stay. So that means that in bench press bronze, we have Decker from Germany with 102.5 kilos. In silver from Great Britain with 112.5 kilos, Caitlin Baxter. And in bench press gold with 117.5 kilos from Sweden, Emily Olin. We're going to head into a 20-minute break before deadlifts, where we know it's close. It's going to be exciting, so please do stick around and we will see you then. Hello and welcome back to the 2024 European Junior Classic Powerlifting Championships here in Pilsen, Czechia. We have the 57 kilo junior women for you, and it is close. We can have a look at the subtotals here, and we can see Caitlin Baxter and Emily Olin neck and neck with 280 kilos, just behind Helena Mariella Decker with 267.5. But having a look at their deadlift openers on prognosis, all set should they get their first deadlift in to be at a 440 total. So it is so close, the lightest of the bunch being Caitlin Baxter, the heaviest being Emily Olin by 0.1. So it is going to be so close all the way until the end.
Yeah, also play for, very tight at the top, very tight for medal position. We're in for a good one, ladies and gentlemen.
We are indeed. And first out we have Anja Antonovica from Latvia, 117.5 kilos. That's a good lift, 3 white lights. Of course, with every successful deadlift we see, as they got a squat and a bench in on the board, we see them secure their total. Once they do that, they feel a little bit safer to push in their second and third to build it. Van der Deme from Hungary, 122.5 kilos.
Pretty easy.
3 white lights, a good lift.
Hoping for every lifter to score the opener. It wasn't necessarily the case in these last sessions. We've been surprised a few times, so hopefully only green on the scoreboard at the end of the round.
Yeah, we don't like to see any drama on openers at least. Antonella Marnet from Croatia, 130 kilos for her opening lift. And 3 white lights. Eliska Rukakova from Czechia, 135 kilos for her opening deadlift.
The first conventional of the flight. And one of the easiest openers so far.
3 white lights. The disadvantage, of course, of a sumo lifter following a conventional lifter or vice versa is because of where their hand placement is different. Often there's residue of talcum powder or baby powder, which is much slippier than the chalk that you're going to want to have on your hands.
Absolutely, yep.
Nicole Spini from Italy, 145 kilos, dropped her opener by 5, similar to her bench press. Has a personal best of 182.5, so I'm wondering if there was some sort of injury coming into this competition.
Sometimes it is just to put pressure on the opponents to be too aggressive building the subtotal, but yeah, sometimes it is, unfortunately, because of injuries.
Yeah, and I'm favouring that route a little bit more just because of her pulling down her other 2 lifts as well.
Yeah, the gap between her opener and her personal best is quite huge at the moment.
Leah Bantuel from Belgium, 147.5 kilos.
Wow, the hip rose a bit too fast, but she got it back.
Yeah, I was a little slow off the ground, which is a little bit more typical from conventional, from sumo rather than conventional. Have a look at that again in the replay, but it's a good lift. She gets it on the board. Selma Ramberg Storstad from Norway, 150 kilos for her opening deadlift. It's a lovely looking opener. 3 white lights, a good lift.
A pizza maker in the day, a deadlift terror at night.
Lara Escosura Flores from Spain, 155 kilos, opening just 5 kilos below her personal best.
Her back looked to be fine at the end of bench press.
Yeah, and they haven't dropped her opener, so I imagine warm-ups were looking relatively okay.
Certainly they were okay.
Yeah, no funny business there, just leans down, rips it and grips it. Grips it and rips it.
I like that. Grips it and rips it. It sounds good.
Thank you. I can't take credit for that one myself. Now, one of the contenders for the overall, Caitlin Baxter, the lighter of the big three. 160 kilos for her opening deadlift, 10 kilos below her personal best. It's a little sticky towards lockout, which is troublesome in conventional.
A lot of friction against the thighs at lockout.
Yeah, and hopefully that's something she can fix up. But if that is a strength issue, it's a big trouble heading into second and third against Olin and Decker. Paula Alonso Vasquez now for Spain, 160 kilos.
Solid hook grip.
3 white lights, a good lift. So for those of the viewers at home who are a little bit newer, could you explain to them what hook grip means?
Hook grip is wrapping the thumb under the bar and locking it with the other fingers. It's pretty rare to see in the lighter categories because with smaller hands it's very difficult to do.
Yeah, it is. I think a good way if you're at home is try to hide your thumb underneath your other fingers, and that is what a hook grip will look like.
And the pressure it puts on the thumb is terrific. At first, once you try it, you'll see how can these lifters do it, but you get very used to it after a few sessions.
Emily Olin now, the second of the big three to take their opening attempt, 160 kilos. And looked very comfortable.
The battle is on.
It certainly is. 3 white lights, a good lift. And now it will just come down to really the jumps they can make and if they're successful. But I think the jumps from first to second is going to start separating them a lot.
To be fair, I'm expecting a bigger jump from Emily.
Yeah.
So.
And now, reigning junior champion in the world level, Helena Mariella Decker, opening on 172.5 kilos. 20 kilos below her apparent personal best. So should be a nice conservative opener for her. Looking to gain another title here at her last year as a junior.
The last one of the big three to open.
Yeah, and probably slightly more contested than she would have expected coming in.
For sure. Sweden's really putting pressure on. We'll see about GB and Norway. Wow, snappy.
Yeah, wow indeed. 3 white lights, a good lift, and as you can imagine, a conservative opener, something she can make big jumps from, and it bodes well for her taking the crown today. And we still have 2 openers remaining, some big deadlifters in this flight. First of which, Amelia Fox from Great Britain, 172.5 kilos.
Very much looking for a medal in the deadlift event.
Absolutely, I'm sure that is what she's gunning for here.
I'm surprised as to not much baby powder on the thighs.
Well, looks like she doesn't need it.
Wow, that's impressive.
3 white lights, a good lift.
She puts it down as if it was nothing.
It looked like it wasn't either. Now our heaviest opener of deadlifts. Should Julia make this, it means all 14 lifters have secured their total. Giulia Grecci from Italy, 175 kilos. Another lifter gunning for that deadlift gold.
Wow.
Yeah, wow, indeed. We're seeing some phenomenal openers.
And the stage is now set. Every opener has been scored. Intriguing stories for the top 3 and for deadlift medals.
Yeah, the fight very much begins now. And as you can see, Grecci leading deadlifts with 175. Fox just behind with 172.5 on body weight, ahead of Decker. And overall, Baxter currently leading on body weight, ahead of Decker and Olin. All in 440, but with slightly different jumps. That is subject to change. We'll see how this pans out as we head into our second round of deadlifts. Anya Antonovica now from Latvia, 122.5 kilos.
Bit more difficult.
Yeah, I'd say a few more kilos left in there. Just needs to make sure that she maintains her position well heading into her third. See her hip shot up a little bit early again there. Van der Deme from Hungary takes a 7.5 kilo jump for her second attempt to match her personal best of 130 kilos.
Most of these lifters showing great progress. Only Nicole Spini struggling maybe with an injury, so not progressing compared to our nomination. Otherwise, it's everyone's on the way up.
Very strong looking second for Deme and a good lift, 3 white lights.
She got me worried there, gripping out of the knurling of the bar. I was stressed out. Look at the grip, only one finger on the knurling.
Yeah, it's becoming more and more common to see lifters gripping the smooth, as they say. Antonella Marnet from Croatia taking a 10 kilo jump to 140 kilos to match her personal best. Ooh, a tricky second. Manages to pull through her hips. Let's wait for the lights there. Yeah, unfortunately gets blues from the side referees. Let's have a look at that in the replay. Blue would be either for downwards movement or assisting the bar with the legs.
I think the legs shaking didn't work in her favor, that's for sure. Once your knees get under the bar, you get blue lights, that's for sure.
Eliska Rokakova now, 142.5 kilos, a 7.5 kilo jump from her opener.
Wow.
As well, just yet. Nicole Spini from Italy, 152.5 kilos, a 7.5 kilo jump.
And being hyped and nervous for too long of a time takes a toll on your body, so you gas out.
Yeah, learning that arousal regulation is so, so important.
Ooh.
Yeah, and as suspected, I think Nicole just dealing with an injury heading into this competition, and
Props to her for fighting her way back to the deadlift. She did what she could. She has a total. She fought great.
yeah, and I imagine we won't see her come out for her third attempt, similar to Rokakova, who scratched that out.
I hope so. You don't want anybody to get injured to get into the top 10. It makes no sense.
No, absolutely not, especially as it's not her top end. You know, she was nominated in 4th overall and clearly can't put up her best day today.
Yeah, I would bet on safety first this time.
Lea Bantuel from Belgium, 155 kilos to match her personal best. A 7.5 kilo jump from her opener.
Wow, and the energy in the room for Lea.
I'm a little bit worried that the bar dipped there.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, unfortunately, did a great job to continue pulling that through, but however, as we'll see on the replay, the bar did drop down.
Yeah, your job as a lifter is to sell it to the referees. If you think it went down, just finish the job. Maybe it will pass. But this time it was a bit too obvious.
Yeah, and we've not seen a successful third attempt in quite a while. Let's see if second attempt, Selma Ramberg Storstad from Norway, 160 kilos. Okay, and that looks good. There we go, 3 white lights. I think I got confused with third attempts there because it's so uncommon to see so many missed second attempts in a row.
Absolutely, yeah. It was starting to be a bloodbath during the second round of
It
deadlift.
was. But Selma came through to save us from that. And let's hope that trend continues with Laura Escosura Flores from Spain, 162.5 kilos, 7.5 kilo jump from her opener. Now her opener looked pretty easy, so can't imagine this would be as hard as we've been seeing some others. Wow, I stand corrected.
I think it's the grip this time on the right hand. She was fighting.
Let's have a look at that. I'm not really sure what's happening today. It's very uncommon to see this many second attempts missed.
Look at the right hand as she fights through it. Yeah, it opens up.
Well, I think grip was the thing that eventually got her, but
Yeah.
honestly, I'm not sure that was what was the issue to begin with. Now, Caitlin Baxter, one of the big three, 167.5 kilos for her second attempt. First looked a little bit tricky at lockout, but was smooth up until then. She's going to want to keep this to stay in the fight.
This is her technique. I'm expecting a bigger fight at lockout, but for this one to go through. Let's go, Caitlin.
Yeah, there we go. 3 white lights, a good lift. Looks hard, but if she can keep fighting through it, then that's no issue. You don't get a prize for easy looking lifts. She keeps in the game, and I think with that, honestly, she's probably secured herself at the very least bronze. They've created a really big gap between them and 4th place, who's currently Gretchen.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for Gretchen to creep up on the podium, that's for sure.
Now, another one of our big three, Emily Olin from Sweden, taking a 10 kilo jump, so slightly bigger than Baxter to pull ahead of her overall. 170 kilos in the bar. The opener was very snappy.
I like that walk to the platform. Chest up, very confident.
Behave how you want to act. And it's still moving really well for her. 3 white lights.
The bar is loaded, 172.5 for Paula Alonso.
Paula Alonso Vasquez from Spain, 172.5 kilos, a 12.5 kilo jump.
Pretty
from
big
her.
jump.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, the opener was quick, so let's hope that was the correct decision.
There's the hook grip we were mentioning.
Yeah, it seems to work out for her. And it does, 3 white lights.
She might be able to grab a medal depending on the job she does. But she has one more like this one in the tank. It is very likely. We'll see.
This will give her the first place, no matter what, at the end of the second round.
Now, Helena Mariela Decker, 182.5 kilos, also opted for a 10 kilo jump. She is lighter than Olin by just 0.01. So she just needs to continue matching her jumps. Her opener was extremely easy.
Yeah, very impressive opener.
And this is still 10 kilos below her best, so something I imagine that's still in her wheelhouse today.
I think she's playing her cards right. And she'll have the last word, putting in whatever she needs.
Go on, Elena. 2 more attempts. Time to give everything.
Solid wedge at the bottom.
And that is a good lift, 3 white lights. And I think we've seen our first bit of strategy come in with Team Sweden adding a 15 kilo jump, I imagine, as a placeholder to try and pressure Team Germany to match that. Of course, they don't have the advantage of pulling first, so they'll probably have to change that unless it's a serious request. Now, however, our penultimate second attempt, Amelia Fox from Great Britain, 185 kilos to pull her from deadlift bronze into gold before Gretchen pulls.
The opener was surprisingly easy, very comfortable.
And so is her second, wow.
That was a strong pull. 3 white lights.
And she looks so relaxed doing it as well.
It's crazy.
Yeah, she looks really strong today.
Yeah, I just lifted 185. No
Casually.
big deal.
Bar is loaded. To take the lead on deadlift.
Giulia Grecci from Italy now, our final second attempt, 187.5 kilos to pull her back into deadlift gold ahead of Fox.
Not bad at all.
No, not at all. A very strong second attempt, and she is amped up. Take a look at that again here.
Very nice run. This 57 weight class.
And that concludes our second round of deadlifts, and we head into the third round where we start to see the fight for deadlift gold and the fight for overall gold. Gretchen leading the deadlifts currently, and Decker leading overall as it stands, with Olin just behind on body weight and Baxter just behind with 2.5 kilos. We'll have to see how this pans out. Anya Antonovica from Latvia now, 127.5 kilos.
Yeah, now intensity is gonna rise up a notch. It's time for lifters to find that other gear, that last adrenaline rush. 100% focused, 100% technique.
3 white lights, a good lift, and did really well to continue adding kilos to that.
132.5.
Let's remember that during the third round of deadlift, it is mandatory for the spotters to brush the bar in between attempts.
Yeah, to give the lifters the best opportunity they can to pull their final weight. Van der Deme from Hungary, 132.5 kilos, opting for a 2.5 kilo jump. Just too heavy today, but still walks away with the 130 kilos. It's clearly all she had in the tank today, but something still to be proud of as a personal best.
Yeah, this sport is hard. With fatigue accumulating, you had 2.5 on there and it stays stuck to the ground, but great houting from the Hungarian lifter anyway.
And the bar is loaded.
140 kilos for Antonella Manet from Croatia, retaking this after missing it on her second. And she does manage to lock it out, but I'm a little bit worried about those blues again. Yeah, and there they are for assisting the bar with the legs. Coach goes to the jury, but I'm not sure if he'll be helped. Yeah, and he's sent away straight away. So you can just see there her knocking the bar up her legs with the assistance of the legs.
Fair and logical call by the jury.
It gets to a point when a deadlift feels heavy, you just want to do anything you can to get it up, but unfortunately the rules are there.
Yeah, you gotta fight your natural instincts to stay within the rule book.
Nicole Spini from Italy, retaking 152.5 kilos, but I think she's avoiding this final attempt. I think that's a sensible thing to do. She's just letting the clock run down for her
And not
competitors.
scratching it is a fair move.
And I'm going to take this moment as well to thank our sponsors, ESN, SBD, and Visit Malta. Without them, none of this would be possible. Here at the championships, we have an ESN stand providing protein for the lifters. We know they need it somewhere like here. SBD, we see the singlets, the knee sleeves, the belts, etc., all the way through the week. And some of those new country singlets, they're just lovely.
Yeah, top tier.
And of course, the Visit Malta, where we were only a few weeks ago for the World Championships for the juniors, and it was indeed beautiful. But yeah, those SBD singlets are really lovely. I love when a new country singlet comes in. It's always so exciting.
Yeah.
It's like a new Pokemon card or something. Now, time run out for Spini. And we now go to Lea Bantwell from Belgium. 157.5 kilos for her final attempt. Chose to go up instead of retaking the weight that she missed on her second. She gets it moving. Wow, what resilience.
Amazing support from the crowd. I'm worried for the knees, but no.
Absolutely incredible. After missing 155 on a second, chose to go up to 157.5 and managed to get it. Phenomenal resilience there. Lara Escosura Flores from Spain, retaking 162.5 kilos after missing it on her second.
And should she regroups, that would give her a 392.5 kilo total.
Just wiping her feet there, making sure that they are as grippy as possible.
And it is time to give it all. One last attempt to empty the tank, put the cherry on top of this performance, and end on a high note.
Oh, and that knee just caved and unfortunately just could not pull through that. You can see on the replay her left knee just caves. Seems a bit too heavy today.
She seems disappointed. We can understand, but nothing to be ashamed about. It's the international platform, finding off against the best junior in Europe. Not too shabby.
No, not at all. And they're going to be pushing themselves as hard as they possibly can, especially when it's your last year as a junior. 165 kilos for Selma Ramberg Storstad from Norway. Her final lift as a junior for a 405 kilo total. A lot of these juniors, the top 7 in fact, reaching above 400 kilos.
Very consistent all throughout 3 attempts in the deadlift event.
And 3 white lights, a good lift, strong into the day.
And now this one's very important, Amelia.
Yeah, it absolutely is, Alex. We have the first of the big 3, Caitlin Baxter, coming out now. And although making what seems like a small jump, it's an important one because she's looking to match Olin and Decker's current totals at a lighter body weight. So for the time being, it does move her into gold. And I think they're hoping there that Sweden and Germany are going to push each other and forget about her. But they shouldn't. 170 kilos for Caitlin Baxter.
Come on.
Wow, she just keeps going.
Oh, unfortunately, I think the torso collapsed. And yeah, lack of lockout.
Yeah, unfortunate there, but it does mean that she does walk away with bronze overall secured. We've seen our first attempt change come in, and I'm wondering if that's from Olin or Decker. Keep our eye on the screen here. Yes, it is. Olin has dropped to 177.5, just enough to beat Decker, should Decker make that final pull. And she comes here now.
It's the right call. It's the right play, I feel like.
Yeah, it does mean that if Decker needs to, she can drop to 185 if this is successful. So we'll see how this moves. 177.5 kilos for Emily Oden from Sweden. A new personal best. This moves her into gold overall for the time being, with Decker to follow.
I'm starting to get goosebumps. Everything's gonna get decided in these last few attempts here in the 57s. Everything you got, Emily. This is the last one of the day.
And it is just too heavy, which means Helena Mariela Decker is your European champion. She's already won on body weight now, so whatever she wants to put on the bar for that 3rd attempt as her last lift as a junior, she has the opportunity to do so. But a great showing from Emily Olin, and what a bright future she has. Still 2 years left in the juniors.
Yeah, crazy potential for sure.
Now just 4 deadlifts remaining, and now some of the fights for deadlift medals as well. Paula Alonso Vasquez from Spain, 182.5 kilos to pull her into 4th overall for the time being, but more importantly into deadlift bronze for the time being, with Decker to follow.
Spanish team bringing the energy. I like that. It's contagious. It gives energy to the lifter, confidence to pull this last bar. Vamos, Paula.
And she gets it moving, but it is just too much today. Loses out on a deadlift medal, which means the deadlift medals are already decided, but which goes to who, we don't know, and we won't for a little while yet. But we won't have to wait long to find out. We have 3 pools remaining. Already your world champion, now your European champion, Helena Mariela Decker from Germany, 187.5 kilos. Moves her into deadlift silver for the time being. Already has deadlift bronze secured. She wants some energy from the crowd.
I like that.
One final pull as a junior, and what a final year she's had. World champion, European champion. What an incredible athlete. What a way to end your junior career.
And one last deadlift for a new personal best and a chef-kissed performance here today.
And there it is. What a way to end on a high for Decker. 3 white lights, a good lift. New European champion, new total PB. What a phenomenal junior career she has had. Let's have a look at that final lift one more time.
4:55. What a total for a 57 junior.
Yeah, and what an entrance into her open career it will be next year.
And she'll be met with some huge talents in the open division.
And we've seen an attempt change come in, a big fight for the deadlift gold. Currently sat there, we have Julia Grecci. Both Grecci and Fox have dropped to 197.5 for that medal.
And she's already pulling.
Wow, look at that. She manages to lock it out. It is a good lift, 3 white lights. And is it enough to keep her in deadlift gold? We'll have to wait and find out. But for now, she remains there.
And we were mentioning that last gear that lifters can find on a third deadlift. She surely found it.
Yeah.
Wow, she lost no time to pull this bar.
Yeah, she's phenomenally good at pulling through hard deadlifts and pushing through hard squats. Our final deadlift of this session, Amelia Fox from Great Britain, 197.5 kilos to move into deadlift gold from bronze on body weight ahead of Grecci.
And now we can see some baby powder. It's surely showtime for GB's own Amelia Fox.
One final pull of the day for deadlift gold. Gets it moving. It is a big effort. It is swinging side to side, but she blocks it out. And it is a good lift. 3 white lights for Amelia and walks away with deadlift gold.
What a flight. What a deadlift battle.
Wow, look at that. What a phenomenal final effort from Amelia there. And a summary here of the deadlifts. Helena Mariella Decker in deadlift bronze with 187.5 kilos. In deadlift silver, Giulia Grecci from Italy, 197.5 kilos. And a deadlift gold on body weight, also with 197.5 kilos, Amelia Fox from Great Britain. And overall, in bronze with 447.5 kilos, we have Caitlin Baxter from Great Britain. In silver with 450 kilos, just ahead of her from Sweden, Emily Olin. And your now world and European junior champion with 455 kilos, Helena Mariella Decker from Germany. We're going to be heading into the medal ceremony very, very soon for the 57 kilo women. And we will rejoin you at 3 o'clock local time for the 83 kilo junior men. Don't go anywhere and we will see you then.
gold medalist from Germany with 165 kilos, Elena Mariela Decker. Gold medal, spot with 167.5 from Great Britain, Caitlin Baxter. Congratulations, ladies. Thank you. Medals is now. The bronze medalist from Germany with 102.5 best lift, Elena Mariela Decker. The silver medalist from Great Britain with 112.5, Caitlin Baxter. The gold medalist from Sweden with 117.5 best attempt, Emily Dorin. Congratulations. The medal of the day, the bronze medalist from Germany with 187.5, Elena Mariela Decker. Silver medal will go to Italy, 197.5 best attempt for Julia Becky. Same weight, but lighter on body weight after a monstrous grind. The gold medalist will be Amelia Fox from Great Britain. Well done, thank you. The medals in total now. For his 2024 European Championships in his 57 kilo weight class, the bronze medalist with 447.5 kilos total from Great Britain, Caitlin Baxter. The silver medalist from Sweden with 450 kilos, Emily Erling. After being world champion a couple of weeks ago in Malta, the European champion this year with 455 from Germany, Elena Mariela Decker. The same for the world championships. Another great fight. Congratulations, ladies. It was really entertaining. Please everyone stand up for the national anthem of Germany. And once again, under your applause,